We're less than 4 weeks away from packing the booth and filling the bill.
Fall football camps are here, which means new faces and some not so new faces in Lawrence and Manhattan.
As the 2023 season inches closer, we've got a lot to talk about.
Great to be out there. Love their energy.
Wildcat football is officially back. We talked to the defense, the offense, and the man in charge of it all, Lance Leipold.
And even in August, the Jayhawks are winning basketball games. The first look at the 7'2" top portal player in America.
Big-time jammer thrown home by Hunter Dickinson.
And as the Cats gear up for an international trip of their own, they're holding tight to perspective.
Basketball is going to stop at some point.
There are new coaches in town.
Super thankful for the opportunity.
The Big 12 is growing.
Fall sports are just around the corner.
This is our beautiful arena.
And K-Nation is on the air.
I'm Kieran Singh, and you're watching K-Nation.
K-Nation, sponsored by 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Tonight on K-Nation, an exclusive interview with KU offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki. We talk play calling, we talk Jalen Daniels, and most importantly, we talk caffeine.
That's what's important. Plus, just about any K-State athlete that has ever stepped on campus, he knows them. The voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson, joins us in studio tonight.
And this just might be our most jam-packed K-Nation to date. Football camps, Puerto Rico, volleyball, soccer, baseball, oh my. We're checking all the boxes tonight as fall sports heat up. No time to waste.
No time at all. Welcome to K-Nation. I'm Landon Reinhardt.
And I'm Glenn Kinley. We got a lot to unpack, like we said, for the second week in a row. Brett Yormark making money moves.
Always on the money moves. The biggest news of the week, we got a brand new Big 12 to look at, Glenn. There it is right there on our screen. Last week we talked Colorado joining, and the league grows again. Arizona, Arizona State, Utah set to join. This makes 16 teams for the conference in 2024. Who knows what it'll look like by then?
Yeah, who knows? We could have had more. They could stay with what they're at. I mean, it's wild times for sure. And
we're just reporting it.
I feel sorry a little bit for some of these new teams because it's going to be a gauntlet. That's what we kept calling Big 12 basketball last year. Quite the competition. I want to talk about football. The two programs in the state doing pretty dang well. And football is finally here, it would appear. The Jayhawks opened up fall availability this week. Get the coaches, players, and, of course, get us ready for the regular season.
We need our practice reps. Defensive
coordinator Brian Boylan, he's ready for another season. He said this week that he's tired of the Jayhawk defense being the weak link, and Lance Leipold says he's ready to elevate that standard.
Trying to, incorporate some movement and some things into things that we do, so it's not just static across the front all the time. So in that way, I think we're trying to do a little bit more pre-snap and post-snap kind of movement stuff. So best players, your good players, you want to play to their strengths too. We're trying to find out what those strengths are and adapt some things to get our best guys on the field and let them do what they do best.
I think they're hungry. There's no doubt. Progress, yes, but anywhere where we need to be, and whether it be in record and other things. There's a lot of things, especially when we looked at the back half of the season. They're not satisfied in any way, shape, or form. We are in no place for complacency. Yes, progress has been made, but there's still a lot ahead of us.
And we're talking defense now. You want to hear about the offense here in Lockhart. Still got to get to that Andy Kotelnicki interview, of course. He had a lot to say. He's a smart guy.
Very smart guy. Very fun interview, too. How about some Wildcat football, though, Glenn?
Oh, yeah.
Reigning Big 12 champs, not speaking yet. First availability this season on Tuesday. We're not just skipping over them, but we did get to sit in on a practice. Few things are clear. Will Howard taking his new leadership position in stride. Also, this K-State team not just satisfied with one Big 12 championship or even in conference play, they want national results. Plus, the new players on this team, whether that be transfers or freshmen, are going to make a big impact moving forward.
Yeah. So we got more with Kotelnicki coming up for Jayhawk football and more with Wyatt Thompson coming up for Wildcat football.
We are back in football, and I am pumped.
Tuned,
yeah, those guys all working hard. Basketball teams here don't really look like they're working that hard. They're going on vacation.
Hey, they're on beach mode. K-State men's basketball, though, they announced a fun trip. The Jayhawks on beach mode, I should say. The Wildcats are going to travel to Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and also Abu Dhabi. That's August 9th, so in just a few days, and through the 20th. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Jerome Tang says. He couldn't say no. and the team will play 3 exhibition matches on the trip, and they'll also explore a unique part of the world, but most importantly, it's going to be a little team bonding experience.
The time together is going to be important. We got to figure out, need some people to take leadership roles, understand what that looks like in different aspects, and just to see who can step up to the plate. And I want to spread the brand all over the world, and that's what we're going to do when we're in Israel. People get to see what terrific young men we have on this team.
And Tang says he wants to accomplish 3 things on the trip: have everyone come back and still want to be on the team. That's a good idea. Also represent K-State well in public and just have a great time together. That seems to be a focus a lot of the times.
I mean, if you're on a work trip, it sounds like a good time to do
sure.
it. K-State off to Israel. KU wrapping up a work vacation of their own. Jayhawks in Puerto Rico. Time relaxing in the water, but as you see on the screen, alley-oops left and right. KJ Adams there throws it down. Game 1 against Team Puerto Rico, an easy one, 106-71 victory. Game 2 against a really good Bahamas team with some professionals, 92-87 win. Hunter Dickinson shines with 28 points, 6 boards, 4 assists in that one. Last matchup on this trip tomorrow at 11 a.m. against Bahamas again. Expecting a full game from Buddy Hield. That should be a fun one, Glenn.
Yeah, they're getting some good competition. I have to imagine that goes a long way, especially when you have a team with so many new players like they do.
Yeah, and then you get the offseason grind, that build up, and you're playing the professionals, and they already look good against professional players.
The Bahamas team's just glad they're not having to play at Allen Fieldhouse.
It looks pretty
stick
similar.
with us. Coming up on K-Nation, the Jayhawks have some new assistant coaches. We talked about the latest editions of Kansas baseball and women's basketball. That's up next.
Plus, Media Day this past week for K-State soccer and volleyball. And, of course, that Wyatt Thompson interview. That's all coming up.
Honey, what are you doing?
What? I just fixed the leaky chimney.
Call Certified Fireplace and Chimney. We fix leaky chimneys properly.
Sports!
We have everything
that you're looking for
at Play It Again Sports.
New and used sports and fitness equipment with used up to 50% off retail.
You can create your own discount by trading in and trading up. Sell us your gear and get cash on the spot, or even get store credit.
Play It Again Sports has something for every athlete. All seasons, all sports, on any budget. We're open every day in the Fairlawn Plaza Mall.
Game on!
Doughboys Pizzeria, a family restaurant in North Topeka, serving fresh pizza with our signature sauce, award-winning wings, awesome appetizers, and desserts, with outdoor dining and entertainment. Call or order online at doughboys.pizza.
At Caw Valley Bank, we're here to greet you with a smile. While the trend may be going less personal and virtual tellers, we have options. Banking online, ATM, mobile app, or in person. We have the same friendly service you've been able to count on for over 150 years. Caw Valley Bank. Trust the strength of the Caw.
There is just something special about summertime here in Kansas. For over 50 years, Lewis Toyota has been there to help you enjoy all your summer activities. Thank you for trusting Lewis Toyota as your local dealer, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
Thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
Jungle House has moved, and we would love to show you around our new digs. Bring a new friend to school with you that will add life to your dorm room or apartment. We have plans for all. Find us at our new location, 6 East 7th Street, Lawrence, Kansas.
Honey, what are you doing?
What? I just fixed the leaky chimney.
Call Certified Fireplace and Chimney. We fix leaky chimneys properly.
Welcome back to K-Nation. Great athletes don't come without great coaches, and the NCAA approved one more full-time assistant for a handful of college sports. We got to get to know some new Jayhawks.
Yeah, for Dan Fitzgerald, that's KU baseball. Choice was easy. He brought volunteer assistant Tyler Hancock on full-time after he helped last year's baseball team tie the program record for home runs, along with the most doubles, RBI, and runs since 2010.
He was impressive. He gets a promotion. Brandon Schneider also added a coach to his women's basketball staff, and they go way back. Patrick Schrader, Schrader, good friends. He graduated from Emporia State. He was a student assistant under Coach Brandon back in the Hornet days.
Super thankful for the opportunity, but yeah, it just never really looked at it as being a volunteer. Always just, you know, try to put my head down and go, hey, this is my job. So nothing has really changed in that lens.
I like to think that I'm a pretty positive person most of the time, and just an attention to detail in a lot of different things. I think being in a similar system to what Brandon's run for the last I guess, 8 of my 10 years in college basketball. I think just having that similarities and understanding kind of what he wants is going to be very beneficial.
Both of those guys well-deserving to go full-time after working in the shadows for so long.
For sure. You have to be unselfish there for a while, and they certainly fit that criterion now, though. You get a little bit more credit, but I'm sure do a lot more work behind the scenes, too.
Well, those coaches take on so much, and to put that grind in when it's not being shown.
Absolutely.
Easy to bring
Good for them. Congrats from the K-Nation team.
Well, we showed you last week that K-State Volleyball introduced a new stadium, but how about who's playing in it?
Yeah, that's an important piece. New arena and a new era with a new coach. Media Day was on Friday. Jason Mansfield entering year number 1, and he wants to be known that K-State's going to have a chance to win every time they step foot on that floor, and he's trying to carry success from previous stops to Manhattan.
I want to see great communication and great effort. I want them to see us compete against every team that we play, whether we think we can beat them, whether somebody else thinks that they can beat us. We're not going to be scared of anybody that we play, and I want to make sure that we go into every match thinking that we have a chance to win.
Good to hear. K-State soccer also preparing for a new season, except instead of brand new, it's finally a settling in period. Wildcats made their first Big 12 tournament last year, and with a slew of new opponents on the schedule, they're ready to up their own game.
I think it's going to be really good for us to play teams that constantly go into the NCAA tournament, because that's our goal. So teams having that experience is just going to make us better and play faster.
But BYU is going to be good, Cincinnati's going to be good, and Houston. But it's new competition for us. We see all the same teams every year. So it'll be nice getting to see different places, different players, and their tendencies too, because we also can learn from them.
It'll be nice for all of those other teams to get to see Manhattan, Kansas, of course. And the season's not far away either for K-State soccer. Game 1 of the regular season at Green Bay. That's August 17th.
Playing the Packers.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they're not.
Let's go to break.
Well, coming up after the break, he's the brains behind one of the most explosive offenses in college football. A one-on-one chat with Andy Kotelnicki straight ahead.
Jefferson's is the perfect spot to watch the game. Come try our new Loaded Macs, or pull up a seat at the bar and match our cold draft beer with our new Mac Burger. Find us at 29th and Wanamaker in Topeka, or online at jeffersons.com.
Of course I know the theme song.
Entertainment tonight. That's what people want.
It's hard to think of entertainment tonight without.
Oh, I know it.
I mean, come on. Since I was a little kid.
This is Entertainment Tonight. This is the Bible of show business.
Weeknights at 6:30.
See that kind gentleman over there? He's fixing my windshield.
What happened to your windshield?
A rock chipped it, and Topeka Auto Glass is repairing the chips so that I don't have to replace the whole windshield.
That had to save you a lot of money.
It did. And they called ahead so I knew when they were coming.
Finally, a company that cares about my time. Oops.
It was great to be able to sit down with the folks at Fidelity and talk about options. And not only to hear choices, but to get a little bit of advice and help in making good choices ourselves was something that we were just really unfamiliar with. And that kind of help is invaluable.
Fidelity Bank, we do business right here at home.
Jefferson's is the perfect spot to watch the game. Come try our new Loaded Macs, or pull up a seat at the bar and match our cold draft beer with our new Mac Burger. Find us at 29th and Wanamaker in Topeka, or online at jeffersons.com.
KU football was one of the most exciting teams to watch in all of college football last season, mostly due to an electric offense that finished towards the top of the nation.
They were really good, and we know that was partially because of Jalen Daniels, also Jason Bean, Devin Neal, a lot of weapons, but it couldn't have happened without the mastermind play caller. So I caught up with offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki earlier in the week, and to get his thoughts on the 2023 season. 2023 season just around the corner. I know you're excited. You also signed a contract extension since last time you and I talked. What was I know a lot of schools wanted Andy Kotelnicki. What was the decision to stay here and stay with Lance Leipold?
Well, I was asked about it back in December when it first happened, and my answer is still the same. If you have an opportunity to be at a place and really achieve all your goals and dreams, why would you want to leave? And we live in a world where the grass is always greener, and we're all guilty of that. If you're in a place that you love being, your family loves it, professionally you're working with a lot of great guys, the players that you get to work with are awesome, they buy into what we're doing culturally, and they're easy to coach, you have a lot of great relationships with people, why would you want to uproot yourself or your family to do something different?
Talk to me about your relationship with Coach Leipold. You guys have been together for a while, 3 schools now you guys have been together. I know that guy means a lot to you, and I'm sure he probably played a factor in you wanting to stay here, obviously.
Yeah, well, we're going on our 11th fall together, which in college football is a long time. It's got to be the longest and one of the longest relationships between a pair of coordinators with Brian and myself and Lance all in the being together. It's got to be up there in college football. You want to work with and for people who are, first of all, high character individuals and are aligned with what your core is about, and we have that. And so it's a really good fit. It's a good mesh from a relationship standpoint, from a personal standpoint. It's easy. I say easy as college football can be today, but it's good. It's healthy.
Offensively, when we talk about schemes and stuff, I think from the outside looking in, people think it's real complicated, and it is in a way. You got the motions and you got the signals, and what are you looking for? You want to simplify the game. Is that a big part of your offense, especially with Jalen Daniels, simplifying that game?
You want to appear very, very complex to your opponent, but internally you want it to be pretty simple. And I'd like to think that we do that. Now, we put a lot of effort, in what we try to do to put stress on defenses, and one of our goals is to be the most stressful team in the country to prepare for, and there's a lot of ways to be able to do that. You commented about motions and shifts and personnels. Our players have done a really good job of doing those sort of things and rehearsing those sort of things and preparing themselves for when we get to go out there and practice that and then execute those in the games on Saturdays.
When you want to be a hard offense to prepare for, having Jalen Daniels on your side, probably pretty helpful, right? Are you pretty? That guy was here when you guys got to KU. I'm sure you're not complaining about that.
No, not at all. So when you think about what you can do offensively, it really starts around the ball. What you try to do and what you want to do should accentuate their characteristics, right? So whatever they're good at. And Jalen is an incredibly athletic player. He's obviously an accurate thrower, okay? You have those two things combined, you're able to do a lot of different things.
We hear from Andy Reid a lot. I know he likes to have some fun the names for his plays. You got any good ones? Did you have any last year?
Well, I tell you, it's funny you brought it up because we try to keep our guys engaged and we give them ownership in what we're doing. And so I have a select group of guys, I don't know, I think it's close to 20 individuals by position, and they come together with plays and they're presenting them to me currently. And a couple nights ago, we had a couple guys come up. I'm not going to give the names away yet, but there's been some creative ones. We're trying to give creative credit to the person who comes up with it. Maybe we'll just name them a name, so like it might be a Jalen Daniels play.
How important is that really to let these guys take ownership and let them feel like they're not just taking the field and catching passes, but they actually have a say in what's going on?
Right. Well, I think fundamentally it goes back to football is really hard. Football is so unique in terms of sports because you do so much preparation for just one game a week, right? And I challenge the guys, think of all the work that we are currently doing and have done in the year 2023, and we haven't even played a game yet. So you have to learn to enjoy the process. In getting players involved in what we're doing, they're critically reflecting on what we're doing, which shows that they understand what we're doing and they get the seriousness of it, and then do things that make sense. And so it's fun for them, right? In moments, it's fun for us to hear it come up. It's kind of like being a teacher and you see your student get creative and they get inspired. I think that's what we're looking for from our guys when they do that.
Do your eyes ever light up when you see a defensive scheme or you see how they line up against you and you go, oh, this one's going to work, or I know exactly what I want to call here? Sometimes you get a little excited up there in the press box.
Well, yeah, in game days I try to stay pretty even-keeled because, we're making a plan, and if things are going well and your plan is running accordingly, it really is not that hard to call plays, honestly, because what you prepared for is good. You usually get pretty excited, especially when we're executing the way we're capable of executing.
I love it. I'll ask you a fun one to end on. We had a bubbler controversy last fall.
Bubbler, okay.
Do you have an update for me on the are you getting your bubblers?
I'm getting my bubblers.
It's hot out. You need that caffeine.
I do. Yeah, right. You got to have a little caffeine for the afternoon. The kind people at Bubbler actually sent me some extra ones, which are mine. They sent me a fridge that has a lock and key so now I have bubblers locked in. So Colin Sexton and Daniel Burke don't steal my bubblers anymore because it's under lock key. Although, a credit to those two, we have made amends. We're in a much better space now, the three of us, and we feel like there's enough bubblers.
Bubbler stepped in and played middleman, and now everybody's at peace. As long as you have enough of them, you don't have to argue over
it. We appreciate them stepping in. We didn't want it to tear apart the athletic department.
I'm glad that worked out. Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck this fall.
Yeah, thank you.
Real quickly, and I talked to an anonymous KU athletics official. He says maybe the bubbler situation isn't all good. It's just good for Andy there because he's got the locked up fridge.
We might have to see both sides of the story.
We'll keep you updated on that one, yeah.
Keep us highly caffeinated as well. Coming up after the break on K Nation, though, we've got the voice of the Wildcats in studio, Wyatt Thompson, right after a quick timeout.
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you break through to a high-paying career by empowering you in high-demand fields. Let Manhattan Tech help you break through to a new career. Manhattan Area Technical College, providing higher education.
Hi, Clay Sherwood here with Frank and Dean, the CEOs of Cube. And they want to make sure you're keeping your pool clear this summer with Aquasil, a truly chlorine-free solution. Let swims and sweeps keep you cool this summer.
At Cox Mobile, we know other mobile companies like you to stay put with one type of plan. But we know life can take you anywhere, which is why you get the freedom to choose a data plan that actually fits you and the ease of changing it up anytime. Choose between pay-as-you-gig or gig unlimited, all while running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability. Flexibility feels good. Cox Mobile, we're different because you're different.
Jungle House has moved, and we would love to show you around our new digs. Bring a new friend to school with you that will add life to your dorm room or apartment. We have plans for all. Find us at our new location, 6 East 7th Street, Lawrence, Kansas.
Meaningful relationships built upon trust is a founding principle of the Trust Company. We help individuals and businesses create tailored financial plans and diversified investment strategies that adapt over time to your unique needs. Because we are independent, we can offer flexibility and creativity that many advisors and trust departments can't. If you aren't sure where to start or you're looking to make a fresh start, contact us today for a free consultation.
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you build a foundation for your college career, like transferable credits offered in your high school, earning your high school diploma through GED completion on our campus. Break through to a new career. Manhattan Tech, providing higher education.
Welcome back to K Nation. With football season just a few weeks away, no better guest to bring in than the voice of the Wildcats.
Hard to think of anyone better. Starting year 22, voice of Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. Wyatt, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, man. Good to be with you guys again. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. So, such a crazy year in K-State sports last year, both football and men's basketball really exploding. Selfishly, being here for 2 decades, how much fun was it to cover these teams?
You know what, we've had a lot of good years, but last year was very special. When you do what K-State accomplished and win the Big 12 in football, and the team they beat, the way they did it, you know, the goal line stand, all of those kind of things, it was one for the ages, honestly. It's one of the best college football games I've ever had the pleasure of broadcast. Right. And then the basketball was something just because I think everybody knew we got a good man in Jerome Tang and a good guy and a basketball coach. But let's be honest, nobody saw Elite 8 and 26 wins coming. And to have that kind of run and to see Marquise and Keontae do what they did and that staff, frankly, putting those guys together and having the success that early, totally special.
Yeah.
Heck of a year.
An exciting time for Wildcat sports as a whole, and you even have anticipation for women's basketball going into next year. All sorts of fun stuff. Let's talk about football specifically. I think that's what most people are talking about right now.
Sure.
Will Howard seems to me like he's a different guy mentally and with confidence. This is the first time he's entered the year as the starter. He was the starter at the end of the year last year, but this is the first time he's been the starter in August.
And I would believe, Glenn, maybe the best quarterback in the league. You could make an argument, certainly, but in the back half of the conference season, I believe he was the best quarterback in the league. And that says a lot. I mean, especially when you think about Max Duggan, you think about Jalen Daniels and some of those types of guys. He's really a very unique individual, has really improved a lot. And I think leadership skills is a big deal. I think Coach Kleiman loves him. He says all the time he wants this to be a players program, and Will's kind of right near the top of the list, actually.
It's cool to see Will Howard, you know, get that shine from the start, but we're kind of talking, before we started here, you lose Deuce and you lose Malik. What kind of weapons is Will going to have to give the ball off to?
Well, it's a perfect question, isn't it? Because you don't really replace Deuce, right? You just kind of move on. It's kind of like replacing Darren Sproles or Jordy Nelson or somebody like that. But K-State's done it before, and I think they'll do it again. to answer the question, I think you're going to love Trayshawn Ward, the transfer from Florida State. And I think you saw enough about DJ Giddens last year to know that he's strong, and he got almost 600 yards rushing last year in very limited opportunities, honestly. He also catches the ball. He's just become a really good player. And then I think if a lot of people will question, trying to replace Malik, who's going to be the guy or guys? What I say to everybody is, look, when you say receivers, you have to count everybody. That includes tight end. That means Ben Sinnott, who's one of the very best in the league and probably a guy who may play at the next level. He's really, really good. But they need Keegan Johnson to have a good year, and I think R.J. Garcia, who we saw in the championship game, make that catch. There are some guys there. I think they'll be fine there.
Let's talk defense real quick. Yeah. They lose 3 defensive backs that all go pro. That means they had 3 good defensive backs. How do you fill those spots? They got good talent behind them, but they got guys who haven't played a lot of snaps there.
Well, they do, but I think, in all honesty, there are some guys there that have played more football than perception may be. And that means like a Jacob Parrish, a VJ Payne. Those types of guys got their feet wet last year. And again, they weren't like everyday guys, and you're right, losing 3 pros is most difficult. But I love the guys that coach those fellas, and I think they're going to be fine. And, up front, they're going to have a couple of guys replace a Felix Anudike-Uzomah, who was awesome, and Eli Huggins, who was also fantastic. So there are some holes and some questions, but I don't know that the holes are as big as everybody wants to think they are. We've got some good football players at K-State.
I got one last one for you. You were here in Topeka for the Catbackers event. Chris Kleiman says, I know where I'm ending my career, and it's Kansas State. How much should Wildcat fans be fired up about that?
You know what? I was grinning as big as everybody on that when he said that, and I was a little surprised he said it, to be honest with you, but we're so fortunate at K-State. We talked about last year. One thing that's great right now is leadership starts at the top, right, and with Gene Taylor. But when you have a Chris Kleiman and his coordinators and then Jerome Tang and that kind of staff, we feel very fortunate to have all of those people at Kansas State, honestly.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
guys.
we
Good being
appreciate
with
it, man.
you.
And
Thank
we'll
you
see
so
you out
much.
at the Bill.
You got it. Sounds good.
All
Go
right.
Cats.
More K-Nation after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Dillon's, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes as fresh as it gets. Dillon's, fresh for everyone.
Hi, this is Voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you will be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. For 24/7 non-judgmental support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Properties that are for sale by owner are typically on the market longer, sell for significantly less, and leave a seller open to potential legal problems than those properties sold with the assistance of a realtor. A home may be the largest and most complicated transaction you'll ever make. Trust a realtor with the ethics, expertise, and education to act in your best interest and guide you through the process. Find homes for sale in Northeast Kansas and a Sunflower Association realtor member that's right for you at sunflowerrealtors.com.
At Caw Valley Bank, we're here to greet you with a smile. While the trend may be going less personal and virtual tellers, we have options. Banking online, ATM, mobile app, or in person. We have the same friendly service you've been able to count on for over 150 years. Caw Valley Bank. Trust the strength of the Caw.
There is just something special about summertime here in Kansas. For over 50 years, Lewis Toyota has been there to help you enjoy all your summer activities. Thank you for trusting Lewis Toyota as your local dealer, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
Thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
At Dillon's, everyone wins when it comes to savings because you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards on pickup or delivery as you do in store. So no matter how you shop, everyone saves big. Dillon's, fresh for everyone.
Last thing for you tonight, K-State and KU men's basketball both added to their staffs this week.
Rejoining Bill's self-staff is Doc Sadler, 40 years coaching college hoops. He was at Oklahoma last year, but has coached all over. He was with KU in 2012 to 13, now returning as an analyst.
And Jerome Tang adds Franklin Miss Kelly after 4 years at Mississippi State. He'll be K-State's director of video and analytics. Lots of good stuff going on.
Finally got their full staffs figured out. Ready for the new season.
All right, hey, thanks for watching K-Nation.
We'll see you next week.
Go Cats, let's do this. It's going to be fun. Go get them. That's a pretty interesting camera.
Nobody else can do this job.
They're smaller and smaller, aren't they? It's insane.